The fall is almost here. It means college sports are back. So joining me today is the new coach of UConn men's soccer, Coach Gbandi. Coach, welcome to the podcast.
Well, thanks for having me, Jared. Thanks.
So I love to ask this question the first time I've got a coach on. You had a successful playing career both at UConn and once you left school. When did you decide that coaching was the path that might interest you and you might want to go forward with?
No, I think it's something I was interested in, even as a player, understanding that I've, had so many years in the game, from playing the youth soccer to college and then in the pros. So something I was always interested in. So I think it was just a regular progression, after you're done, hey, can you go and try to help some young players as well? So that's kind of how I thought about it after I was done.
It seems like you've had a pretty methodical coaching journey here, going from an assistant, then as an associate head coach, then to the head coach at Northeastern, and now at UConn. What's this coaching journey been like to get to this point, to be back as the head coach of your alma mater?
Yeah, I think obviously you need a little bit of luck, and within some of this in terms of jobs and positioning open up. Yeah, but I was very strategic about my commitment to coaching. Coming here at UConn and being a volunteer. Moving on to Holy Cross and working with a great mentor of mine, Marco Coleman, going over to Dartmouth and working with a individual that I grew up with, Chad Rowley, and then fortunate enough to be hired by Peter Roby at Northeastern. So I think I've kind of gone through the steps and the ladders of the coaching tree, so to speak, and I think it's prepared me for this opportunity here just to understand and know what it takes to hopefully be successful here.
I feel like it's already pretty special to get to be a head coach at the Division I level, but what's it mean to you to get to come back and be that head coach at your alma mater?
Yeah, it means a lot. I think it means a lot. But I also know there's some work to be done, right? I think obviously anytime you're taking over for a legend like Ray Reid and all that he's done here, it just adds that much pressure on for us to be successful, right? So I want to make sure my time here that we're successful, if not more so than Ray. And that's the pressure I think I'll put on myself and put on my staff to go out there every single day to make sure we're doing everything we can to put UConn soccer on the map and get it back to where it needs to be. And not to say that is far off, but I think for us is trying to win a national championship. And I think until we do that here, I don't think we'll be satisfied.
What's the biggest lesson that you've learned from the coaches you've played for that you now apply into your own coaching and relay onto the team?
Yeah, I think the biggest two things I've taken is culture and mentality. Right. I think there's so many players that are great players. If you're lacking a little bit of the mentality, I think you struggle as a player. And if you're lacking the culture, I think you struggle as a team. So can we have both of that? And if you do, then you have a successful player from a mentality standpoint. If you have a good culture, then you have a successful team. So those are the two things that I've taken from all the coaches that I've worked with.
What have been your first impressions being back on campus at UConn now? I know the facilities are quite different than what they were like back when you played at UConn. What's it been like just getting back involved with the program and seeing where things are, and where they stand heading into your first year here?
No, I think it's great, right? I think it's great. It's interesting to me because a lot of people and obviously a lot of recruits and their parents and I guess everybody around the country talk about the facilities, the new facilities at UConn, right? I think one of the things that draws me to UConn, to be honest, is not even the facilities, the people, right? I think the people are unique, they're special. They're passionate about this university, and they're passionate about soccer in general. So I think that's what one of the things we try to share with our recruits is, hey, you're going to come here. Hopefully, you're not just coming for the facilities, because it's ultimately the people that you're going to be around and the individuals that you meet are going to impact you more so than the facilities. So yeah, I think for me, just being back here and experiencing that, I kind of remembered, when I was a youth coming to college, why I chose to come to UConn is the people and how much they're passionate about sports and then mainly soccer.
During your time at UConn soccer, you played at the highest level. They're going for a national championship. What do you think it takes to get UConn soccer back in a position to be competing for national championships year in and year out?
Well, I think it takes a lot, right? I think you have to look at it from different steps, 3 month steps to 1 year steps, right? I think for us, the most important thing right now is just focusing on now, right? I think if you look at our conference, right, how do you find a way to be competitive in your conference, right? I don't think you can finish 10th in your conference, expect to then all of a sudden go and try to win a national championship. I think these gradual steps. We need to get in the top four in our conference. And then from there, it's like, hey, you need to take gradual steps. And maybe it's, hey, we need to get to Sweet 16. So And one of those you might skip a step or two, but I think the biggest thing is making sure you're doing stuff in your conference, because ultimately, if you do well in your conference, you give yourself to play in the NCAA tournament. And then the biggest for me is trying to get the best student athletes here, right? Student athletes that want to come to UConn for the right reasons. I think everybody wants to be a pro now, right? Which is the dream. But hey, do you want to come in and have a great experience in college, and understanding that, hey, if you have a great experience in college and do well here and lead UConn to a national championship, that can ultimately, have you reach your dream of being a pro as well.
We're in the middle of the preseason here, getting ready for the season to start. What is it preseason workouts been like for you? And I know you guys have some exhibition games coming up. What has it been like getting to start working with the team a little bit more and getting ready for the season?
Yeah, we're fortunate enough to obviously take over the job in the in the spring, so we're able to work with the group and put our system in place that we're trying to implement. I think also we talked about the culture piece. Ray, I think, had a pretty good culture here, but my culture and my personality is a little bit different. So make sure we instill in that in our group in terms of how we want to be around each other, how we want to behave. And then I think for us, it's just been hard work, right? There's no secret about trying to win a national championship or have a successful team, a successful year. It's just hard work. The guys have been working hard. We have a great strength coach in Coach Chris West here that does a great job with our guys. And then we have a coaching staff with Coach Fahey, Coach Kamali, Coach Onsberg, our recruiting coordinators. Yeah, just put our head down, work hard, try to get the guys fit and ready for the upcoming season.
I'm curious because you mentioned culture a couple times, and I'm always interested to dive into that a little bit more. If someone asked you to sum up, your style here and the culture you want to leave on this UConn soccer program, how would you describe it in a few words?
Yeah, I think for us, we talk about three things: the foundation of our group, right? I think the family aspect of it, just because we have so many guys from different country and different parts of the country, and it's just a matter of how do we all come together and have a common goal, right? And I think we all within our family, yeah, you have some guys that sometimes want to go and do this and like you might have a brother and sister that wants to go left or right, but you have to pull them in and say, hey, this is who we are as a family. This is what we represent. And I think for us, again, like I said, the family aspect of it, we talk a lot about the legacy part of it. Do you leave a legacy that people are going to remember at UConn, right? And the sacrifice. Are you willing to sacrifice for that, right? Yeah. Are you willing to sacrifice to leave something behind that people are going to remember you about? Or are you willing to, hey, I can't go out tonight because you know what? Hey, we have a big game 2 weeks from now that I have to prepare for now, right? Yeah. So those are all things we talk about. I think for me and the family, a sacrifice piece, and then ultimately, if you do those things, you'll leave a legacy, and those are the foundation that we're trying to build this off, and ultimately, hopefully, our guys see that it can be beneficial to them.
I like it. I think it's a good direction to take the program here. As we're getting ready for the start of the season here, can you give the listeners a few names to be on the lookout for guys who have impressed you so far during the preseason and who you think will have a big impact during the season?
Yeah, if I knew that, I'll be a rich man right now, right? To be honest with you, the group is working hard. We have a lot of guys within the system that we think can really help us. I know I'm doing coach speech right now, but yesterday we played 330s and everybody got to play and guys did well. So yeah, I think we'll have to wait to the first game, right? Because ultimately, if we have this conversation after the first game, I'll give you some names. Right now, the guys are working hard. They're all improving each day, and they're putting themselves and their teammates through the paces. So that's all we can ask for right now. And then I think after the first game, I'll give you some names of guys that stand out that we can look out for. But right now, everybody's doing well.
All right, I'm going to hold you to that. We're going to have you back on after the first couple weeks here to give us some names. Moving to UConn and coming to a new conference for you. What are your thoughts on the Big East from a soccer perspective?
Yeah, Big East is a tough conference, right? I think obviously the king of the hill right now is Georgetown, right? Everybody's chasing Georgetown, and they've been there for a while. But then you have some other guys, like Creighton. Obviously, Villanova's done well. Providence has been very good. And I'm afraid to leave out some other names, right? Because they think I'm disrespecting them. It's really not that. It's just it's such a tough conference. Marquette over the years has been good. Seton Hall won it, during the COVID year. So each year, St. John's obviously a huge rival for us. So it is a very difficult conference because every team have their own identity. Mm-hmm. Where I think, and I've said this before, where you go to the ACC and certain part of the country, Big Ten is mostly, hey, it's super physical. And then the ACC, hey, every guy has nice grass field, and we try to keep the ball as beautiful as we can. Where I think the Big East is so drastic in terms of the different playing style. So that presents this challenge as well, right? Because you're preparing for one way this week, and the next week you have to totally change that. So we understand that, and we know we have our work cut out for us, right? Because you're going to be facing so many tough teams with difficult challenges for you to figure out. But I think that's the important and the fun part of this gig for us.
I'll wrap on this one here. I know you had mentioned some gradual steps to get this program back to a level competing for national championships. What are the goals that you have in place for year one for this program that you'd like to see them accomplish, to take those next steps?
Yeah, no. So when I first came in, we had a 1 month goal, 3 months, obviously 6 months, right? So we're kind of around that 6 to 8 months, right? I think the first month we're just getting to know the players and understanding what their strengths and weaknesses are, for them to get to know me, understanding what my strengths and weaknesses are. I think the first 3 months was just trying to implement our system, right? And culture. Hey, this is how we go about things. This is the style we're going to play. And then I think the 6 months piece is just making sure everything's in line, and hey, this is what we want to go for the Big East, right? I think for us is, again, I think just trying to understand the conference piece is so important, right? So we need to make sure we finish in the top 4 in our conference. And I think that would just build on that, because historically, if you do finish top 4 in the Big East, you give yourself a chance to get into the NCAA tournament. And I think that'll be a very good step. And now, would I be lying to you? I think us just getting in the top 4 this year and being done will be a little bit of underachieving, maybe so, with the group that we have. But again, I can say all I want to say until we start playing and perform on the field. See what that happens. But yeah, I think our goal this year is to make the NCAA tournament, and hopefully we'll be able to do that with the guys if we can stay healthy, a little bit of luck, and within the mentality stays where it needs to be, then I think we give ourselves a chance.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, I really appreciate the time, taking some time out of the busy preseason time to hop on the podcast with me. And again, I'm going to hold you to that. After first couple weeks, I want to hear some names from you.
Sounds good.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Bye-bye.